Welcome back to another great week, you guys. We are back in the house again for another Thursday with Twisted Transitions. And I know why you guys are here this week. You guys are here because we have a very special guest this week. Now, we're going to learn a lot about this special guest this week. He is a fantastic individual, and I've got a lot of questions to chop it up with him. Now, granted, this will be the first time that I've ever just chopped it up with him. But I've had so many questions because I've been watching him for a very long time. So he's in the green room and everything right now, awaiting more people to come into the room a little bit. So to give you guys just a little something. So yeah, if you are definitely checking out today's show, then you know that we've got the one and only Mr. DJ Woo Pig in the building. But I don't know if we can just call him Woo Pig anymore because he might just be more of a Mr. Simmons. I mean, he has really taken his business and flipped it on us, because when he started, he was one thing, and now he is the big man on campus. So a lot of stuff is going to happen today. A lot of good stuff, good information is going to come from him. He's got a lot of nuggets for you guys. I told you guys to bring your questions because it's going to be good tonight. So we've got him for a little bit. What's up to the people in the chat? We got DJ G Kenny. What is happening? What is happening? Woo Pig, been watching for years. Met him back at NAMM 2019. That's what's up. Woo Pig got his fans and stuff over here too, man. Now, Woo Pig, don't overshadow me and stuff, bro. Like we got to be on the same page and on the same level here, so we can make this happen. If you guys don't know, we actually had me and Woo Pig were a part of another live stream back in 2020 when COVID and everything hit. We were all a part of the Quarantine DJs, where once a week we would get together and all the YouTube guys would get together and just talk shop and just chop it up and just have a good time, just talking for umpteenth amount of time. It was a great time, but it was kind of like our first full introduction for everybody to kind of meet. And I was supposed to meet Woo Pig at Rick Webb's wedding, and he had bigger things to do, so we're just going to call it that, and we're going to move forward with that. So some more in the chat right here. We got Kit Kat in the building. What's happening? Eric playing music, love E. That's a long name. It's a very long name. Eric playing music, love E. Is that supposed to be entertainment or E entertainment? I don't know if you're doing a play on words there, but that's pretty cool. So I know you guys are excited. So we got some more people in the building and stuff now here. DJ Romeo, great. What's happening? Appreciate you coming through. So let's go ahead and get to it, man, because I know you guys are waiting and I'm waiting. I've got him in the green room. So let's just go ahead and bring him on so that the questions can just start flowing. If you guys have a question for Woo Pig, just make sure that you put the hashtag ask in the comments, and I'll try to, get those as we conversate. But let's bring on the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. DJ Woo Pig. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We didn't do it like a full check. So can you hear me good?
I can hear you, but it's faint. It's like if there's any way you could turn up your volume just a little bit. I don't know. I've got my volume kind of halfway. I just want to see.
Yep. What about now? Is that any better?
A little bit. A little bit.
I got plenty of room.
Oh yeah. Give me some more room there.
It may be. Let me make sure my settings on this. You got eCam. You're spending big dollars on this.
No big dollars. Oh man.
All right, I see my green signal bouncing back and forth. Is that better?
Yeah, that's good? Better. That's better. Now we can hear you. We can hear that lovely Arkansas accent.
That country accent, man. Man, I've been working, my friend. How you been? I guess this is the first time we've officially chopped it up just one-on-one.
Just one-on-one. Okay? It is. It truly is. And, like I've told them, I have been a fan and stuff of yours because your path to greatness has been very similar to mine, but you just took it and just ran with it. You did a lot of the same stuff that I did. I'm not going to tell you your story. I'm going to let you tell it. But when I saw you on YouTube and some of the stuff you were saying on YouTube, I was like, man, I was there. I remember those moments when I had to make some of these decisions, and I was scared as hell.
But, man, I'm still scared. That's people think it gets easier. No, man, I'm more scared now than I've ever been. It's
oh wow,
and it's we're doing okay. We reached growth really quickly. Where a lot of people during COVID were hurting. We took advantage of some situations, and whether it be live stream events or just kind of changing our entire business structure. And man, we blew up. We grew between 2019 and 2023. We grew 300%.
Holy cow.
And I just hired my first employee like 3 years ago. So I'm still learning on the job. Well, I guess it'll be 4 years coming up pretty soon. I'm still learning on the job. When you've got any given weekend, you've got a collective 30 employees out on the road.
Yeah.
I don't sleep well. There's a lot of things that could go wrong. There's a lot of things that go right as well. So, it's interesting. I tell people all the time, it's like I'm living in the Twilight Zone. I've got no better explanation than I'm literally just doing the best I can. I am doing the best I can to be a good husband first, a good father second, and a good leader third. That's what I'm trying to do, and inspire some people along the way.
And let me tell you, your inspiration, the fact that you're able to balance family and business. Look, that is a golden nugget in itself. A lot of questions on this show comes balance. In. Right.
Sorry, and I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
I'm sorry. No disrespect, Jay.
You're good.
Because I know you've got a lot of your core audience is also my core audience. So right. I'm gonna be upfront and honest with everybody. Any mentor or OG that's been in the game, whether it's DJing or business. I've got some great friends that are plumbers. They own plumbing companies or they're electricians. The first question, especially since my kids have been born, the first question I ask them is, what's the balance? I've not one time gotten an answer that works for my situation. Any mentor that I've had, and I've got some good ones. Any mentor that I have tells me it comes in seasons, and it's 100% correct. 2020 to 2022, I was hanging on. Right now, it's like I'm in the low spot, but that roller coaster, I can hear those tracks click 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 click. We're going up, and trying to find the balance. I ask everybody that question, and the one thing that I get more often than not is try to do your best in everything you do, whether it's being a husband. Try to be the best husband you can. With that comes the explanation of explaining to your spouse that you're busy, and ultimately, if they've seen the work that you've put in, they'll be able to back you up with whatever you do. My wife's the GOAT. I tell her I'm about to move, and we move. So, I never put the post up. This is something I need to do. But I was talking to my wife last week. I went to Infocom out in Vegas, and I told her I was going 4 days ahead of time. I said, hey, put it on your radar. Infocom is happening. I let it slip. I need to be there. I feel like there's some products, we're fixing to bring to market. Some people I need to meet, some people I need to network with. I feel like it's an opportunity. And she said, all right, when are you coming home? And having that ability is fantastic. So I'm trying to be the best I can to her. At the same time,
Right.
I'm trying to be the best to my kids. I know what it's like not having a dad growing up. So I'm trying to be there. And then at the same time, I'm trying to be a leader to my team. And I've never done that before, Jay. I'm learning on the job, man.
As most of us are.
So with that being said, the balance is something I think everyone who's a hustler strives to find that balance. But don't get too caught up in trying to find the balance that you don't keep your eye on the prize. That's the one thing that I can say is kind of my mantra. I'm a hustler in all areas of my life. I'm not going to neglect my kids so I can make $1, but at the same time, I gotta go make $1 so I can spend some time with these kids. Sorry, I'm sorry. I have derailed this podcast.
No, you're good.
I get off on tangents and I just get to talking.
You are already spinning gems because, some of these subjects and stuff come up and stuff. These guys ask me, and I try to give them the best that information that I can. But just like you said, my situation is my situation. It may be different for you guys. These guys ask me all the time, like, does your spouse and stuff, do they get mad? Do they come to the gigs with you? Do they mind how much you work? Even though you only work on like Fridays and Saturdays, does your son and stuff like that, does he get involved, or why you don't have more help? These guys have all similar questions of the same stuff that you just spat out here. And that's why it's important for everybody to understand that everybody's situation is different. I mean, we all come from different backgrounds. Some people come from divorce. Some people come from new relationships. Some people come from, separation, and you got to deal with getting the kids here and getting the kids there. And then you only have weekends, but guess what? That's when you work. So everybody has a different situation out there. I can only give you what works for me, and if it works for you, then take it and run with it. But you got to find your own balance of whatever you can to be able to make it work.
You've got to be able to separate. If you truly, and this doesn't just count for being a DJ. If you want to pursue something, life is always going to get in the way. You've got to find a way. If you want it hard enough, you'll find a way to figure out and make it work. Ultimately, I think that's the case for everybody. If you want it hard enough, you'll figure it out.
True. That's true. That's a golden rule there. So let's get back. Let's get into some of the details here, just for the people who may not be familiar with your story. I know some of it, but I'm sure they want to kind of know your background. So tell us a little bit about your background, where you started, how long have you been growing your business and your start to now.
So I started this thing as a freshman in college. I went to school to be a musician. I went to school on a drum scholarship. I'm a drummer by trade. I'll show you. Like you can see my drum kit in the corner. I'm a drummer. I'm a musician. Musician first.
Right.
Went to school for it. I'm an excellent drummer. I'm a terrible student. Got kicked out. My roommate, who was a football player at the time, his dad was a DJ. He brought his equipment down, or some of his old equipment. It was CDJ 800s. So this has been a minute.
It's been a real minute.
Before controllers, his dad brought his stuff down because that's where his dad got his start, was DJing in college at the dorm parties.
Right.
So now looking back on it, especially me having my own kids, it's like, hey man, that's a cool thing to do. Set your kid up. That music connects people. If your son's at the center of that, he's connecting with people. So It's creating an atmosphere. That's what you want to do for your kids.
Right.
But he was a football player. He had zero interest. He also, on the side, was part-time drug dealer. Just so happened. He got in trouble. He got in trouble and got hauled off. All of his stuff stayed in his room. His dad, kind of old school, said, "Hey, you get in trouble, you're gonna figure it out." So his stuff stayed in the room for the remainder of the semester.
Oh, wow.
And me being a musician, liking music, I'd pop a CD in. I was burning CDs. That was my side hustle at the time when that was still a thing.
Yep.
I was burning CDs. And then I was like, oh, well, let me just put it in the CDJs. He's got the system, open the door. Now I can sell my CDs more. But then, I got interested, started pressing buttons and looking up YouTube videos. That was right when YouTube was really starting to pop off.
Right.
And, I essentially learned how to DJ. A dorm party on borrowed equipment turned into doing frat parties for the Qs and the frat boys, and that turned into DJing in clubs. I had my first residency. This is my second semester of my freshman year at the North 40 Club in Russellville, Arkansas. Every Saturday night, I was the hip hop DJ. But that was great. I got kicked out of school, academic probation, all that stuff. Got kicked out. I was still traveling back and forth at the time. But I'm a social butterfly on the outside, but truth be told, I'm not a bar and nightclub guy. So I started parlaying the club experience into not being your average, ordinary, cheesy wedding DJ that plays the chicken dance. We about to turn into a club, club vibe. And that's when I started DJing weddings. This is probably 2-3 years after I started DJing. So 2010, that's about right. 2010, started doing weddings. 2011 formed my first I registered my DBA as a business. 2011. Okay. Got my tax ID number and started failing miserably along the way, making mistakes left and right. It started in 2011.
Okay. So now, of course, everybody has a history with the name and everything, and of course, I get a couple of questions here and there. Why does he use the name Woo Pig? Because even when you come on YouTube, I thought it was different. You came on YouTube and you was like, gave that whole woo. You know what I'm saying?
So, right. Long story long. So I'm from Arkansas. Of course, you can tell by my country accent. I can't turn it off. This is who I am. I sound a little different. Now, truth be told, not every person that looks like me sounds like me down here. So it's different, and I lean into it. But we have no professional sport mascots. Our University of Arkansas, that's like what we rally around, similar to South Carolina.
Yep.
Gamecocks or Clemson. That you're cheering for a college team.
That's it. Right. That's it.
And at the time, I'm a big dude. I'm just a big dude. Back in the day, it used to be you'd get your DJ name from your DJ influences. They would give you your moniker. Right. This fool, shout outs to DeMarcus, but he thought DJ Porkchop would be a catchy DJ name. I did not like that. But I'm a fan of the Razorbacks. We're the Razorbacks in Arkansas. Woo Pig is our call. And as I was starting to build my DJ business, I knew a lot of at the time. I knew a lot of DJ scratches and scribbles and Ace, and you can Google it right now. There is one Woo Pig. That's it.
That's
DJ
it.
Woo Pig. There is one.
That's it.
And the people that are here or in the SEC region, which is where I do predominantly most of my work, they understand. And truth be told, they lean into it too. They think it's something special. Out here, I am a celebrity nowhere, but out here, and even in the DJ community, I answer to Woo Pig, and
You're the man.
It's stuck.
I tell at the beginning when I was giving your intro, I even said that we may have to change that here. You might have to go back to becoming Mr. Simmons because I mean, a lot of people don't know that you have transitioned
Right.
from DJing.
I don't DJ anymore at
Right.
all. You know,
Right.
it's a different. I tell you what, that 3 year span, 2020, 2019, leaning into 2020, there was a lot of news going on.
Right.
New employees, new shop, new debt, new COVID, um, and new babies at home.
Yeah.
So right at that time, I was going through, and still going through a bunch of changes. And the easiest thing for me to let go was my YouTube. So I
Yep.
thought, hey, I know at this time I'm transitioning out of my DJ world. I wanna kind of open myself up to more broader horizons and just go by my name, John
Right.
Simmons.
Right.
And that was a shot to the foot. Because although I felt like a name change would kind of open my horizons, the one thing, even looking back at it now, that I realized was a mistake is trying to change who I am. This is, people follow me not just for DJ content. They follow me because, there's something there, and it doesn't matter if I DJ or not. I'm still going to have my core audience that knows and understands what I'm trying to do, which is ultimately I got it on the back of my shirt. I'm trying to dream, create, and inspire. I'm trying
That's
to
right.
dream big. I'm trying to create opportunity, and I'm trying to inspire somebody else along the way.
And that is freaking awesome. I mean, you are one of the reasons why I do this show because I when we were doing the live streams, one of the things that I would hear from you is just a lot of real life stuff. Everybody else is talking about, a lot of business stuff here and there, but you would do a lot of real life stuff and there's no sugarcoating anything. Like you give it straight shot, and I like that. And when I started this show, I was just like, if I do a podcast, I want to give you the other side of DJing that's not always so glamorous. So I create stuff like we talk about taxes on here because I saw a video where you talking about having an accountant and talking about taxes and how DJs should, I mean, all that stuff, they don't teach you that. They don't tell you that.
That's if YouTube has taught me anything, and I love YouTube. I'm slowly starting to. If you go to my channel right now, of course, it's been dormant for really since I moved into this place, which has been like the catalyst of all of the change. That was the time of it. I'm slowly starting to get in that space of being creative. So I'm fixing to get back into it. I've got a lot of ideas, and ultimately, I always sought out YouTube as a stepping stone or a learning platform to get me to the next step. If I can Google search it real quick and there's a YouTube video on it, there is literally nothing I can't do. And having that mindset and then showing people that it's possible has put me in. It's put me in some interesting conversations with some interesting people, such as yourself, such as working with companies like Mackie and JBL and and Yamaha. And there's a lot of opportunity out there, and I ultimately feel like it's one of the reasons why I'm here on this earth is to try to inspire someone that if there's a YouTube video on it, you can do anything. Now, I'm not saying you can't get a PhD and go out there and start cutting on people. But if you want to learn how to grow a successful business, there's a lot of content out there, and I want to be a part of that content library that gives people hope in themselves, because that's ultimately what I'm doing. It's hard work running a business. We exploded. It's hard. But if there's no one out there showing you that it's possible, then you don't have hope.
Right.
And ultimately, I think that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give hope.
And I think that's great. All of that is so true because, like, I've had my business now for, I think this is year number 5, from up under working for another company now to being on my own. This is like my 5th year, and every year I learned something new, something I could have done the previous year, but now I know, and so now I'm starting to put those things into practice. Oh, yeah. And you're right. Trying to get people to see your vision when you are trying to build something and come along, it's tough because a lot of people just think you get up there and push. Yeah, they think you just press a button.
Think you're crazy. Man.
And there's so much other stuff. Yeah, there's so much other stuff. There's emails all day. There's return calls. There's advertisement. There's getting people. There's having people in the right place, the right time, showing up. There's so much that goes in to work. Everybody just thinks that, oh, you're a DJ. You sit on the couch all day, and then when Saturday comes, you press a button. And I'm like, no, if only it was that easy. So that's awesome. So for those who don't know, so Whoopig was a DJ, and then
I'm still a DJ. I still got the setup.
No. I
DJ at home.
Whoopig, right? No. Right. You are a bedroom DJ now.
The first time I went out last weekend, actually, and this is how crazy life just circles back. I was so adamant to get out of the DJ atmosphere, and I can tell that story here in a little bit. I love DJing. I love music. I love the art of it. But like anything else, I had a bigger dream, and that dream was tugging at me more than the DJ side was. Long story long, I just DJ'd a wedding in Ohio, which is
I saw that.
Which is odd.
Right.
I got paid to go to Ohio and DJ for more than I ever made as a DJ in my own area.
That's crazy.
Got there, white glove service. They had the backline set up. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
If I can keep getting some of those gigs, I've actually gotten booked out a couple more. I may parlay back behind the tables because 18 months away from the decks, and I'll be honest, the first 15 minutes I was nervous.
Oh yeah.
I was nervous.
Oh yeah.
I didn't think they were going to dance, but as soon as I hit that rhythm, we started melting faces.
That's it.
And if I can recreate that emotion that I was lacking when I was trying to get out of DJing, I may open my calendar to do one a month if I can travel someplace cool, this is kind of. I'm a dreamer. I'm always thinking of new opportunities to increase my earnings or my reach or my network. I was actually thinking about this the other day. If there's a DJ company out there that wants some coaching and they want to fly me in to DJ a wedding, sure. But maybe spend a day beforehand coaching your team, where trying to find the pitfalls in your business. I think that's a plus for everybody. So I think there's a couple things I need to tweak there, but that's one of those back burner things that I can do personally, to still keep me in the craft, but also making money and creating opportunities around the country, because the internet makes the world a small place. And I've made a lot of. I'm not going to say a lot. I made a lot of money, because that would be the easy way to say it. But I've made a lot of connections, just being, using my platform. So use your platforms, people. The internet, it makes the world a small place, and people are watching.
And I can tell you that, when that's a great idea that you have there, but I wonder if you should create something like an online class. Like where people have to sign up. That way you don't necessarily have to be in their city. You could, because of technology, of course, you could be anywhere at any time. Yeah. And have these courses, especially like how to start a business and how to have, I don't think there's anybody who does. I mean, everybody has a thing where they teach you how to scratch, and people sign up for that.
And that's I don't want to become. I think all of us who are in that circle, whether it be club DJ, mobile DJ, DJ. If you're in the DJ circle, it doesn't matter if you open up Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Threads, YouTube. Everybody's got a course.
Oh yeah,
Everybody's got a course.
everybody.
And if you're like me, and this is why I don't want to teach a course. If you're like me, you don't do well. I never did well in the classroom ever. But you give me a YouTube video or you put somebody down here in front of me,
Yeah,
teach me once, and I'm golden. I'm
yeah,
golden. That one-on-one training. I like that personable. You can probably tell by my demeanor. I love that one-on-one connection,
yeah.
and really kind of meeting somebody where they are. I think a internet course, in some ways, screams take my money, but don't really care about whether I get the effects or not. If that makes sense.
It does. It does.
The computer, the internet makes the world a small place, but it can also create intense um, uh, intense divide as well. It's easy to buy a course, and that course get lost in your download folders because you've got music from DMS, and you've got your planning
Yeah,
folders, and you've
yeah.
got all of the stuff that start pushing further and further down the list. I'm human. It happens to me. It happens to me.
Definitely, definitely. Let's check the chat real quick and just see if anybody has a question. Because if they don't, I've got some great ones and stuff for you here.
We've
This is
been
all great
rolling
stuff.
30 minutes, brother.
I'm telling you. I look. I knew from the moment that you agreed to do this that this was just going to be seamless. I already knew that
I'm
because
sorry, man.
no,
I get to talking. I get off on tangents. It's
bro, we are here soaking it. If you don't think people are listening and soaking this, and I am soaking all of this up because a lot of the stuff you say it makes perfect sense. It's not like
I've been there.
it's not Bible, but it makes sense.
Everything I really try to, especially with my kids now, or since I've had kids, I really try to speak with intentionality. Um, I don't, people are quote unquote selling these trade secrets that even I realize I have now. Um, I'm not selling anything. I will give it to you because I know it takes a special person and it takes a lot of hard work to make something successful.
Absolutely.
So if you're willing to put in the work, I'll give you the tools. Um, but let me tell you this, it's not as easy as it seems. You see a successful business person, um, the older I get in business and the wiser I get, the more I can respect somebody that's been in business for 15 years. Because getting through those trenches to get to the step where you can finally break away and your business doesn't need you to survive, that's work, bro.
Yeah.
That's work. I'm
Yeah.
there now. Like I am trying to dig through the trenches and create standard operating procedures and make sure finances are in check. And oh, by the way, still checking in with DJs and making
Yeah.
loving on them. And
Yep.
it's a grind. It's a
It
grind. I'm
is.
willing to give any information away if you're going to take that information and apply it. That's it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now you Underground Entertainment. I know that's both DJs and that's your production company. So like currently, how many DJs do you have under the DJ side, and then how many do you have under your production company?
Yeah, so our business, Crown Entertainment, we're a full service, white glove turnkey production house, and that means entertainment, concerts, installations. We've got a systems integration division. We white glove turnkey projects all across the country now, which is crazy to say.
Right.
Crazy to say. We
Right.
worked in Utah a few months ago and then turned around and went to Destin, Florida, literally coast to coast. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm figuring it out as we go along. I'm at the helms of it, which is also interesting to say. I've got 4 other full-time staff. One of those is Natalie. She is our client care rep. She handles most of the wedding side. She's booking most of the weddings. We've got Blake, who is our production project manager. Blake is overseeing the production and installation division. We've got Brandon, who is our warehouse manager. He makes sure that we've got our gear set up for success on the entertainment side. Blake gives him the command of what we're pulling on the production side. And then we've got Josh, who's more like a all-around go-getter. He can be a photo booth tech. He can run video at a concert. He can patch a stage. He's just a great utility guy to have. So me plus 4 full-time W-2 staff. And then on any given weekend, all of my DJs here in Arkansas are listed as contractors. At any given weekend, I've got a stable of around 8 that are my guys, and then I pull from other companies who are growing, who want to stay independent, but don't mind the extra work.
Right.
And then from there, if we're doing a festival, I pull a lot of employee and labor from the labor union or labor pools. Any given weekend, the highest payroll weekend we had 32 people on payroll. But some weekends, because the dynamic of our business, August is going to be hot. We're not doing anything. We could have one wedding a weekend. So it's a big dynamic. So at the core of your answer, I've got 4 full-time staff. I would say 8 DJs who are my contractors, and then I would say 3 fill-in contractors as needed.
Now, I watch heavily when you show on social media about the production side of it, and you handle some fairly large festivals that happen in your area, and maybe sometimes out of your area. But like, you handle all the sound, the speakers, the microphones, the lighting. I mean, are you the stage as well? Like, you set everything up?
The stage, I will, unless I have to. We're not at a point right now where I think it's a sound investment. The stages, I generally rent in. Those are mobile stages, come in either on semis or dually pickups. We rent those in. No, thank you. Insurance on those. To make a dollar to your pocket, you've got to sell about $150,000 because that's how much the insurance is per year. It ain't cheap. I would rather not have that. I'd rather not have that investment. But when it comes to, audio, video, lighting, all of that stuff, and I can even, I love. I'll finish my statement. Audio, video, lighting, cameras, iMag, every bit of it. Every bit of it. It's pretty cool to see what we do. It's been a long journey in a relatively short amount of time. I think that's what intrigues a lot of people. They see my journey, and it's literally a rocket ship. I've made a lot of bad decisions. I've had a lot of good luck, and I've worked 10 times as harder than I have to because of those mistakes that I made along the way. And ultimately, I didn't give up on myself. My story is different than most people's will be because I know how incredibly hard it is. But if you ain't afraid of a little hard work, you can make some really magical things happen.
Yes, you can.
And right now, it feels like we're just hitting our stride.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that because like I saw one of the first hardest decisions that when I came across you make. I think you were like a full-time employee at a company at a regular like 9 to 5. And I remember you were like in a truck or you were sitting in your truck and you were like, I think it's time to go ahead and make that leap. And I remember that because I was at a 9 to 5 also. And I was like, man, I feel like this job is really getting in the way, but I'm so scared to lose these benefits and this, that, and the other. And it's just crazy. Like that fear, I knew what I wanted to do, but that fear was just like took over.
and that is okay. I feel like a lot of people, um, they see like the Gary Vaynerchuk, especially with social media, man. Social media is, it's almost poison,
Yeah,
and I hate to use that word, but
it
it
is
it
though. That's
makes
the
you
right word.
care. You see a Jason Jani or Joe
Yeah,
Bunn or a Bar or a Book or because we've got our life on display, you get to see the highlight reel
highlights.
of what a lot of hard work has led up to. I was looking back here. My wife actually got me this plaque. She's the one that encouraged me to quit. November 3rd, 2016 is when
Wow.
I went full time.
Yeah.
So it's not even, hadn't been 10 years. This is not that long ago.
Yeah, it's not.
Uh, and we've done some cool stuff. I'll actually I'll bring up a hopefully I'll bring it up if it'll let me. So I've got a company profile.
Okay.
Can you see this?
Let me see.
You can't see the whole
There
thing.
we go. There we go. I switched it over.
So this is just a little bit of what we do. Let me
Can I?
zoom out.
Let me see if I can. Oh no, it's just stretching it up and down.
Let me. Oh no, I'm terrible with technology.
Yeah. Trust me, I just created this screen right before we came on. I was like, I wanted to see if I could get Whooping right in the center right there, if I could.
All right. So don't zoom in. Jeez, I'm so bad with technology.
No.
This is whenever I built this place. I built it with the idea of like getting back into doing cool stuff. So having the ability to bounce over the screens and do all the cool stuff is dope when you know how to use
When
it.
you
And
know
when you
how to
don't know,
use.
so let me get that more in the middle of
There
the
we
screen.
go.
So this is what we, full turnkey, large format JBL PA. A lot of different versions of the line array options, mics and lighting and video walls and rigging. All the stuff. And these are some of the that we're working on.
Wow, look at that.
Uh,
I mean, wow. Wow. That laser show at the bottom there is crazy.
Yeah, man. We invested in lasers, and it took us it put us in a different league of people. But we're also doing systems integration. These are some video wall carts that we designed and had built for a local college. Some of the systems integration stuff that we're doing. There's Blake up in a 60-foot crane. We're installing
Jeez.
PAs and lights, and
That's in the
that
church.
same college we just that's in a church. We just landed this install last summer. That's a pretty big line array system in a college. That's actually I didn't know it until it was already done, but that's the largest auditorium seating capacity wise in the state of Arkansas. Just to
Oh
say that
wow.
we put the PA in something like
Yeah,
that it's incredible.
it
So,
is.
and again, this is all relatively in a short amount of time.
Look.
I'm just out here working. I'm just out here working hard, trying to take care of my family and make good decisions, but also not give up on a dream and really try to see through the limitations that scared feeling puts
Yeah.
on you.
Yeah.
Um,
Business is
I've been
scary.
I've been exactly where people are, and
Yeah.
and now it only gets scarier. But anything worth doing is not going to be an easy path there. It's going to be scary. Um,
This
any
is true.
trailblazer will tell you that's any trailblazer story. Um, Jeff Bezos, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, like all of these people, at one point in time, their dreams sounded like fantasy land to
Yeah,
people.
right.
Henry Ford said, "I'm going to build an automobile that's going," and he because of his dream, he transformed the globe. It's just nobody
It's
can
one of those
nobody can
things.
stop you. You gotta be willing to see your dreams through, and
True.
uh, and
True.
that's what I'm gonna do.
Man, that is more. That could not be more true. We're gonna check the chat here. We got a question for you here. It says, "When did you know you wanted to gear? Wait a minute, you wanted to gear more towards the production side of things?"
Yeah, so I've been a musician, like I said. I've been a musician since I was a kid. Live performing, live entertainment is something I've always been drawn towards. DJing was just the avenue that got me there because I started DJing, for these small city festivals. You get up there and DJ for the city in between the musical acts. But then I would always be asking the production company about their sound system or PA or, whatever. And then somebody gave me a shot as a case pusher. And I was still DJing and had a full-time job. And when I wasn't DJing, I would take gigs as being a roadie, pushing cases, plugging stuff in on stages. And that guy he was a great mentor, but terrible businessman. And it took a while for me to get paid and
Yep.
getting screwed over
I know those.
on your labor, on your sweat is not a good feeling. And I grew up broke. I've been homeless. I will not be taken advantage of. So after a while, I just said, you know what? If he can do it, and not pay his people, I can do it too. And
right
his
way.
people will want to come work for me because I take care of them. And so this was probably 2014 ish, somewhere around there. I started buying gear, ultimately with the idea that I would do DJ work and then I would do smaller production. And smaller production will get me into bigger production. And, hopefully we can keep that thing going. Always knowing that I was never going to be a DJ full time. I knew that 3 years into spinning weddings, that I want to build a team, because there is enterprise options here to grow it, and to make a decent living at it. But I want to build the entertainment company and step away while in the background I'm building this production company because I feel like those things can go hand in hand. And when you do it right, you're always performing for a client. You've got DJs who are out here performing for brides that are 22, 24, who are employed at a Fortune 500 company.
Yep.
We've got a lot of those companies here: Walmart, Tyson, Maybelline. These brides who are the young professionals, who may have some pull in who DJs their Christmas party. That's a gateway. You're always trying to churn out. You're performing for, at any given weekend. We have the opportunity with our DJ division
Yep.
to perform in front of, some of these weddings have 200-300 people.
Yep.
Any given weekend, we're performing for 10,000 people. 10,000 people have seen our product.
Yep.
And that product, if it's good, opens up conversation for what else can you do.
Yep. I tell these guys and stuff that come here weekly, I say the same thing every time I get off the show. I'm like, when you guys are performing, you have to first take care of your client that you're there for, and then you have to play for the client that you don't know is there, because that client is there. You're going to get multiple events from that, and the volume that you have there is insane. I mean, with those companies, you're right. You could have the daughter or the head of advertising in the party there with you, and you have no idea because you're performing for their kid or something like that. Like it's nuts.
Yeah, the moment I stopped seeing DJing as a one-time transaction, my business has exploded. It's not just going and doing this wedding and instantly next week moving on to the next wedding. When I started thinking about intention of, if I see somebody that's got a nice watch on, like if I'm at an event and the uncle of the bride walks up and he's got a $10,000 Rolex, being aware of the room. If he's got a $10,000 Rolex on, I'm going to ask some questions. Hey man, that's a nice watch. Show them some intrigue. Meet them where they are, because those conversations inspire conversations towards what you do, what's your story. Then you can open up, and elaborate. If I'm walking back to the truck to get my change of clothes, and I notice, there's either you see somebody stepping out of a $80,000 pickup, or whatever it may be. Always look for the conversation, and then show interest, and then perform. If you can perform, and you showed interest in somebody, they're gonna want more information about what you do and how you guys can work together. Stop thinking about it as a one-time transaction. You got to be thinking, when I go into this next gig, how can I get 5 more gigs from it by not DJing? Yep. By not DJing.
Man, are you guys getting these nuggets? I hope you guys are getting these nuggets. This is why I asked this man to come on here, because you're just getting just a piece of what I've learned over time. You have no idea. All right, next question here. Eric Morado says, what should we be doing, working on those Monday through Friday days to get more leads to book clients and build up business?
Yep. Eric, great question. You've got to find ways. Again, it's just like when you're at a gig. The story I just told of noticing somebody's watch or car, or if they've got a nice jacket on, or the flower arrangements, meeting with other vendors. Those conversations you need to be having in your everyday life. There's one thing that I don't mind spending money on, and that's coffee. I used to be a Red Bull guy. Now I'm a coffee guy. I go, in my town, I live in our population here is about 30,000 folks. We've got 6, 7 coffee shops, very similar to every town across America. Yep. Every bedroom town, major city. Of course, the numbers are going to go up. But I don't mind spending money on a cup of coffee. I'm not pre-ordering it on an app. I'm not going through the drive-through. I am going in, because who goes and gets coffee every day? The same people, entrepreneurs, brides, grooms, business people, nurses. Once people know your face, they want to know more about you. If you create conversation with the barista and you walk into Starbucks and if there's a line and she calls you by name, and she's asking you, if she knows what you do, which a lot of people know what I do, yep. And I walk in and Clarissa says, "Hi, Mr. Simmons, where are you headed off today?" And I'm telling this conversation in front of, potentially 30 more people. It gets more interested. Oh, by the way, my shirt's branded. Oh, so from whether it's the front or the back, or you don't want to ask the information, only thing it takes is a look up from somebody to see Crown Entertainment, and then they see a truck outside that says Crown Entertainment, yep. And the barista's nice and friendly. It only takes one Instagram search to find your next customer. Hey, I can't tell you how many of those I've gotten. Hey, saw you in the coffee shop. Hey, saw you in the bank. And always be looking for your next customer. Outside of what you do. I'm not meeting my next customer on DJ idea sharing or at a DJ conference. I'm meeting my next customer at the bank, at the coffee shop, at Great Clips, where I take my kid to get his hair cut. Like, everyone either should know what I do or will find out what I do, because I am trying to create genuine conversation that leads to a sale, because everybody is for sale. You just got to figure out what they're buying. Are they buying you, or are they buying the competition? And they're buying something.
Just to piggyback on that, once you, just like he was saying, when you when you do meet these people and you give them a card or you give them, they can scan a QR code or they see the truck and they want more information, make sure that the other side of that looks like it's established. It doesn't look like something where, if I want a DJ, I don't want to go to your page and your page be full of you playing with your dog. Like it needs to look like what you're trying to present.
You always, I see it especially in the DJ community on these internet forums. If they buy a trailer, I don't want to put my logo on the side because I feel like it might get stolen. If that's what you're worried about, that tells me that you don't have your business properly set up. Because this is why we have insurance. I tell people openly, if you want to steal it, please go ahead because it's worth more on insurance anyway. I don't care. But the idea that you're going to spend the money to invest in a trailer to make your job easier or give you the ability to haul more gear, the idea that you wouldn't want to always be advertising what you do to lead to that next client is crazy town, and I don't understand. Everyone, and this is something I try to drill into my DJs' heads when they're posting to Instagram or whatever it is. Everyone in your network should know what you do. Yes. If it's if it's somebody on Facebook and their friend who's a friend of a friend puts up a post, hey, looking for a DJ, there should be no shadow of a doubt that the 500 friends you have on Facebook instantly think of you for their next opportunity. No reason.
I agree. Man, there's some great stuff here. All right, we got DJ G Kenny. He asked, does Whoopig have any plans on bringing the dreads back? No, I mean we clean shaved. What are you talking about, man? I remember the picture he's talking about.
My hair started falling out about a year before I had children, and if it hadn't fallen out by now, it would have, because it's bad genetics. I've let it go.
All right, Benny Blanco says, what DJs inspired you to be a DJ? I think you kind of answered it. I think this was more like a music thing back in in the early days. It wasn't really a DJ per se.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'll parlay that question. My roommate was a DJ. When I saw the ability for him to instantly become the social guy, that's what inspired me to DJ. It wasn't people on YouTube or Scratch Bastard and Qbert and those guys. I'll be honest with you, I'm not that guy. I'm a damn good DJ. But like the DJ culture is not where my passion for the craft came from. Right. It came from wanting to honestly be an entertainer, be at the center of it. Now, I will say what has made me want to get back in, because I'll be honest, this setup behind me, it probably in the past 3 years maybe has been turned on 10 times. But we had an opportunity to do Steve Aoki. As a part of the production services we were offering.
Whoa.
And seeing Steve Aoki, hold 10,000 people in his palm with the tracks that he's playing, that made me want to get back into to loving the craft.
Yeah.
Seeing it at, it's easy for us to see us crushing a 25-person wedding, 150-person wedding, those big, those once in, every market's different. If you look at DJ Bar, every wedding he does has 500 people in it.
Right.
That's not what it's like down here.
That's not realistic where I'm at.
When I get the opportunity to DJ a wedding and they've got a guest count, that one I went to in Ohio, 300 people, that was a rager. That's an opportunity. Seeing somebody do it at that next level to where it's like you go to any Chicago, Houston, Atlanta, there's a nightclub that can hold 1,500 people. You see that DJ crush it. I think that's what inspires all of us in those markets to to want to do it because he can hold 1,500 people in the palm of his hand. I've seen it time and time again. I used to be that person in the club world.
Oh,
To
wow.
see somebody hold 10,000 people
Yeah.
with tracks, and
Yeah.
the next track he dropped, to hear 10,000 people go,
Oh.
oh, like it's insane. It's
Yeah.
insane.
That is nuts. That is nuts. I can only imagine what that looked and sounded like.
Crazy town.
So I have a question myself here. I see some other people have some other questions here, but I want to throw in a question because I can't really get a really good answer on this, and I've been trying. So I'm of course looking to expand a little bit, just on a smaller scale. Not really the production side. I'm not ready for that yet. I still have a kind of a passion to DJ. So I am trying to build a team, and I am trying to kind of do like how you do. Like, I get so many inquiries, and I do have one guy who helps me out. His name is DJ Mike. He helps me and stuff here. I found him like 2 years now. We've been kind of working together, but finding a quality person to DJ, and also finding people to help to do setups and stuff like that. Like I can't put a full team together. Every time I have somebody, they just don't see the vision, or they don't have the passion that I do, and it's like they just fall off.
I've been exactly where you are, and it's frustrating
Very.
because you want it to be right.
Yes.
I'll be the first one. And again, I am not perfect. I do
Right.
not know everything. I am telling you, and everybody watching now or in the future. If anybody tells you they've got it all figured out, run, because
Right.
they are lying. But I will say, it takes a little bit of that check to the ego to give up that this is your baby, yes. But if you want to grow this thing, you can't always have they're not always going to do it like you do. There's going to be mistakes along the way. There's going to be bumps in the road.
Right.
So with that being said, as I try to build my team, I'm not necessarily looking at DJs. I'm not, I don't care if you know how to DJ or not. We've got a system in place. We can train you. We can teach you everything that we know. But I'm looking for, when I put a listing on Indeed, I'm looking for good people who want to make some money.
Okay.
They've got to take a personality test. We're going to meet for coffee, and I'm going to figure out if you are a decent human.
Right.
I don't care if you know anything about DJing.
Right.
I don't care. I found good luck at colleges. Even if you're an entrepreneur, there is a college out there that wants you to come talk to their kids about what you do. And if you have a college, that's got a theater program, a music program, right off the bat, you've got kids out there that had no idea that they can go and get an art degree and make 35 grand a year, 40 grand a year, or they could potentially DJ on the weekends and make that same amount of money.
Hello. Yeah. Yeah.
You've instantly perked up the ears of 50 kids who ultimately may not want to be wedding DJs, but they could go out on the weekend and make 15, 20 bucks an hour to be a roadie or to be an assistant or to be a DJ trainee that you may have for the next 3 to 4 years while they're still in college.
Right.
I'm looking for the next generation of good people, not the
Right.
next generation of DJs. I could give a damn about your DJ skills.
Right.
I don't care. If you're a virtual DJ, Mac, PC, I'll teach you everything. Because ultimately, the people that I bring in, I want to be critical thinkers who want to help other people. That's it.
That's
So
some good
I'm
stuff.
looking at colleges. I'm putting up stuff on Indeed. I'm looking at open mic nights. I'm hosting open house events here at our shop just to see how good the hang is. If the hangs are good, then I can teach you what we do on the DJ side of things. just to give you another gold nugget, I don't know if how many of your listeners have ever heard of the Blueprint. It's a training platform for DJs, built by DJs. A very good friend of mine named David Osborne has built a training platform where if you're in the trenches like I was, trying to figure out how to duplicate this system and not always be involved in the system, the Blueprint's a great online learning platform where you can give DJs the opportunity to learn at their own pace, and it creates monsters. Now, is it cheap?
No.
It depends on what cheap means to you.
To you, right?
If you want to be able to take a good human and turn them into a good DJ in 6 months, it's cheap. If you're one of those people that says, no, I need my hands on it, and it's going to take me a year to train this DJ, and I want a carbon copy of what I do, have fun for the next year and a half trying to duplicate that person,
Yeah.
and then cry in your cereal when that person realizes that they can do all of this stuff without you.
Without you. Yeah. So I think where my starting point needs to be is just like you said, getting into some of these colleges and maybe getting like a roadie first. Maybe not look for a DJ and stuff initially. Maybe push what I already have, and then like get roadies and just see where their head is at, just to at least start a foundation with the team aspect and getting a consistency of them.
Absolutely. It's cheap to go on Indeed and put up a job description for a part-time job as a roadie, and you will get so many different applicants.
Yep.
You'll have 100 to choose from, though. If you're going to pay somebody $25 an hour to come push cases or whatever whatever your market can bear.
Right.
But let's be honest, if you pay somebody $25 an hour for an 8 to 10 hour day, you're paying them 150, 175 bucks. If that fits within your profit margins, which should be 40 to 60%,
Yep.
if your numbers are right, if you can afford to pay that person, you will have more people lining up at your door to interview for that position than you can turn down.
Oh yeah.
Out of those 100 people, you can find one person who is a good hang and wants to learn more about what you do.
Facts. That, I mean, and see, that's all I needed was a straightforward answer. Nobody could really give me a straightforward answer. Everybody was kind of like, oh, well, you just gotta be on the lookout, and you just gotta kind of feel it. What?
Yeah, man. Truth be told, it takes money to make money. So
definitely does.
If you want to go one route, which is seeking out these local community colleges or major universities, everyone that's watching or will watch in the future has a community college within 45 minutes of it. I guarantee you. Those colleges, if you find the dean of business, every college these days has a business program. If you find a dean of business or an art program, if you email them and tell them you're interested in coming and talk to their students on what you do in either A, small business, B, the arts, or C, entertainment,
Yep.
You will not be told no. If your business model is, I'm younger, I want to grow with somebody who's got an interest in this, finding somebody in college would be the ticket. If you're trying to find people who are already established but may need a good side hustle, there's a lot of people door dashing right now, putting miles on their car,
Yep.
Working crappy hours to make $110 working a whole day. Or you can come be a roadie and not beat up on your car, and come work for me and make the same money.
All right,
Get paid to have a good time.
We'll just beat you up a little bit, and we'll give you a little bit to drink and eat at the same time. Why not?
Right. Get paid to have a good time and eat well.
G Kitty actually wanted to expand on the question just a little bit here. He said, once you hire someone that you find, how do you keep them around when it's slow? I want to hire someone, but afraid if it gets slow, what may happen?
That's a good question. A lot of that comes from believing that you will ultimately find the work for them. And I guarantee you, once you hire that first employee, things change. It's just like when I got married. I thought that being married or being engaged was just as similar to being married. As soon as you say I do, things ultimately change instantly.
So
When
right.
you realize that it puts you in an uncomfortable situation to go out, to get out of the cave, to go hunt something, kill it, bring it back to the cave. Once you realize that it's not just me, it's we, uh, your hustle changes
Yes, yes, it does.
significantly.
Yes, it does.
Now, I wouldn't just say go hire somebody out on a whim. I would start with a part-time person. If it's just, that's how I started. Those who look back on my YouTube journey know that I started with an intern, and that was weekend only. I was just paying them to go out and assist me. Trey, the intern.
Yep, I remember him.
We just DJ'd his wedding two weeks ago. Right.
Oh wow,
It flies. Time flies. I hired
that's
him
crazy.
when he was a sophomore in high school, and now he's a college graduated, got a beautiful wife. It's crazy.
Wow.
Um, but I started him when he was part time. I had him every weekend while he was in high school, and whenever he went off to college, I realized that I needed to hire an assistant, and then somebody who wants to deliver pizzas a couple days a week and work for you a couple days a week. You'll figure out that, hey, I can't afford to pay you full-time hours, but I can pay you 24 hours. I can
Yep.
guarantee you 24 hours of work. And then maybe that's 32 hours. That's how
Yep.
it worked out with Blake. When I hired my first full-time person, he started as 3 days a week with the option to go out and make show pay for me on the weekends. And then when I had a little bit more work for him during the week, that went up to 4 days a week. And then that went to 5 days a week, and now he's on salary. So it's
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 crazy.
it's a growth process. It doesn't have to happen overnight. Don't look for overnight success. Take
Definitely
the,
not.
you know how you eat an elephant, one bite at a time. That's how it works. You don't have to jump into this. You don't have to jump into this having a full time staff. You can have a weekender that turns into a part timer, that turns into a full timer, that turns into a salary member of your team. And if you grow it like that, the good thing is, if you grow it in those steps, you've got somebody that's seen you fight and claw and scratch,
Yep.
which means that they instantly have buy-in to the success of this company.
That's true.
And that's somebody ultimately that could probably be a lifetime partner.
Man, are you guys appreciating some of this stuff? This man is this knowledge he is passing on. This is fantastic. This is
Thanks, man. I,
awesome. This
I
is
appreciate.
this is so good. This is so good. This is what I wanted for everybody
This
here.
went, Jay. This went by way too quick. Full disclosure, I got two kids under 5.
Yep.
It's dinner time.
I was
I
just
told
about to
my
say
wife,
that.
I told my wife I give it an hour and a half. We
Okay.
gotta we gotta do this. We gotta do this again soon, for sure.
Yes. Yes. I am definitely going to have you on here again because you have opened the eyes of so many, and I just want you to continue to just spread your knowledge,
Hey
and
man,
it is
that's
fantastic.
what I'm trying to do. Full disclosure, and I'll say this, Jay. I'll give you a couple seconds to scroll through and see if you've got that one question that we could bring it home on.
Okay.
But I'll say this, full disclosure. My life got busy. Those of you who have followed my YouTube journey, when you go through COVID and you hire your first employee, and then you may have to fire your first employee because COVID comes, and you've got big dreams and you're trying to dream and chase and all that. Your creative bone gets a little dry. But my juices, as I've started to delegate and be able to hand off some of the critical parts of the business. Now I'm open to be creative and I've got this space here that I want to create and help create and motivate. So if you know who I am, or even if you don't, you can find me on all platforms. DJ Woopig. There's a lot of good, useful content.
Yes, there
that
is.
will be free of charge.
And it is all linked down below, guys. It is in the description. All Woopig's handles down here, because this last question, you guys are going to want to know this. So this last question, it's actually a question that I'm going to ask. Okay, so this one, when are we going to get more of the late night live streams?
All right, so I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked. Speaking of being creative, I've got a couple podcast live stream show ideas.
Okay.
One of those I'm going to keep under the belt.
Okay.
Because it's going to be a weekly thing discussing entrepreneurship and just being a business owner and trying to figure this thing out.
Oh, I'm there.
It's going to discuss, business ownership and being a dad, kind of open format. You kind of decipher the topic. You give me the topic, and I'll give you my 30-minute opinion on it.
Okay.
That's one thing.
Okay.
The second thing, which is the name, I'm gonna keep close to the vest, but it's a show that will be at night because I'm an entrepreneur. That's a dad. And I get those moments where I'm at the office during the day, and I put the kids to bed. But truth be told, I've got to go back to the office and get more work done. So that's going to be, it's going to also be, I'm not going to say a weekly, bi-weekly. It's going to be whenever I'm in the mood for it. I'm in the office. You're going to help me stay motivated. We're going to get some work done. We're going to go back and forth and answer questions. All of this is coming very soon. I'll be honest and say that my camera setup is good. I'm there. I'm committed. I've got the juice. I just ordered another camera that I'm going to start, doing more vlog stuff on. I've got the juice. It's coming very soon. If you follow the socials that JayBook put down in the description, let's just say within the very near future, you will be in tune with some cool content that I think that a lot of people will have some takeaways from.
Yeah, you definitely will. And there's nothing like getting a notification at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night that Woopig is live. And you're like, well, why is he live? What is he doing? And he's just sitting there just chopping it up because he's in the office.
Come find out. Yep.
It's awesome, man. It's an awesome time.
And that's kind of, I feel like most creatives are night owls, and we do our best work at nighttime. If I can get on here and knock some work out, and by the way, have potentially thousands of people feeding me, who are also in tune with entrepreneurship and fighting and clawing and scratching and trying to, pick the brains of the community. If I can have 1,000 people spitballing ideas off of me at one time, bro, it would be something that's magical.
It's worth it.
And I feel like I've finally got the creative drive to get out there and get it done.
That's what's up.
Stay tuned.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, all of Woopig's information for his social handles are down in the description below. You guys make sure you hit him up. Don't call him. Just make sure you hit him up.
I've spent the better part of the last 5-6 years scrubbing my number from everything. Good luck.
That was such a running joke and stuff for him. It was so funny.
And we still get calls to the office. I've taken my personal number just about off of everything. But twice a week, Natalie will shoot me a text. Hey, somebody tried to call you from YouTube, and that's a good thing about building the business. Now, I can say call me. Sure, if there's a business opportunity out there, Natalie will pick up the phone, and if I feel like it's worth my time, you'll hear back from me. If I feel like it's not,
you won't. That's awesome. Oh man, you guys make sure you hit up Woo Pig and tell him just great information and stuff today, man. We're gonna let you get back to your family. We're gonna set this up again, man. We're gonna do this again, and hopefully the next time we can get a face-to-face meeting instead of on live streaming here, and we can finally meet face-to-face.
Right. What are you going to any shows this year?
I believe I'm doing DJ X. A couple of guys on here, man, like the crew, the book club has literally reached out and said, hey, man, we will get you from Philly to Jersey if you fly into Philly. So I'm like, I'm considering it. I'm definitely considering it.
You can fly into Philly. That's what I always did.
Okay.
An Uber from Philly to AC, they gonna knock you for about $100.
Yeah.
But hey, let me put you on some game.
Okay.
Just go ahead and rent a Turo. If you're staying in AC, you can rent somebody's 2020 Honda Civic for $175, and then you got a way to get around the city.
There you go. Because I think I'm only going to be there for like a day, like whatever the second day is. I was just going to be there for that day because I have an event. If
you're just going for a day, hey, book club, come through, pick them up. You're celebrity, dog. Somebody will take care of you.
A celebrity, yeah, right. I want to be like you when I grow up.
Come on, man.
Oh, man, thank you so much for joining us stuff today, man. And look, enjoy your family time, and we will get up very, very soon.
All right, brother. If you need something, my line is always open.
Oh, yeah. I definitely will hit you up, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show, bro.
Yes, sir. Until next time.
Woo Pig, ladies and gentlemen. Woo Pig in the building. Appreciate you so much, bro. Appreciate you so much. Man, I hope you guys enjoyed that because that was just the tip of the iceberg. That was just the tip of the iceberg. We've got so much more. One of the things I want to do on this show is just bring on people who are unique in a different way, things that I see in people that I've watched grow and just build their empire. And I want to get them on here to encourage and influence you guys and just hear their stories. And I hope that you are gathering all kind of information from these guys because they're coming in. I got another green light for some other people for, coming up here probably later in the fall. But don't forget that next week we've got the big homie Santi in the building next week. So we're going to be talking 52 weeks in the club. We are going to talk about his latest 52 weeks in the club, and we are just going to chop it up with him next week. Next week, 7 p.m. EST. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening, and if you have a gig this weekend, do not forget, you're not just performing for that client, you're performing for your next one too. I am going to get out of here. Appreciate you guys. Peace, love, and hair grease. Make sure you're living to strive, not to survive. We'll see you next week, 7 p.m. I'm out.